pick up where I left off. And we'll take this little conversation a little further. We'll talk to you all. Throughout my hiking journey this year, we did have a lot of questions on the YouTube channel, so I kind of wanted to address that. I don't have too many of them, but there is a few that I'd like to go over. I do have a list. We are going to try to read them and go over them, and hopefully if you're the one who asked the question, you'll recognize it and you'll get the answer you're looking for. So here we go. Number one, do you need a permit to hike the PCT trail? Well, some of it, not all of it, quite a bit of it. It's not big sections. That's why most people choose to get a PCT long distance permit. And a PCT long distance permit is able to get when you're online. They have kind of a lotto system. So you would just go to the PCT webpage and register, and you get a specific time and date when to log back on and select the date of your permit. A long distance permit through the PCT organization is 500 miles or more. So for 2025, I will be reapplying for another long distance permit. You can also permit sections. So through the national parks or the wilderness areas, you do need a permit through the forestry department. And so you can go to different forest rangers in different areas before you hit these areas, and you can collect a permit. Some of them you have to register and get on and fill out paperwork. Some are just self-permits where you just fill it out and leave it in a box. My daughter had to get one, Mandy, when she jumped back on in Mammoth. She had to get a permit to get her up to Sonora Pass, which is all the Yosemite National Park. So, but there is also real big areas that you don't need a permit. You can walk 300 to 500 miles in areas that are not in national parks, and you don't need a permit. You just got to be aware of when that area is coming that you do. So that's kind of how the permit section parts work for the PCT. Where did I get the permit? I covered that. You get online to the PCT website and just start reading, and you'll figure it out. I was a newbie. I figured it all out. I got the date I wanted, and it's not that tough. Next question. A lot of people ask, did I train? Yeah, I sure did. I started training in July 2023, and I trained all the way up till a month before my start date, April 2024. 2-3 times a week, I'd go walk anywhere from 5 to 10 miles. The last 3 months of my training, I did it with a loaded backpack, so I was able to train. Does everybody train? Nah, some people go right from the couch right to the trail, and they're fine. They start out slow, they build up as they go, and basically they're training on the trail, which is fine. It's up to the individual person. I wanted to do some training right out my backyard in the Sequoia National Forest, and that's kind of what I did and how my regiment was to prepare for the PCT 2024. So that's what that was. It says, someone asked, what's the best thing you can do to train for a long distance hike? Is get out there and walk. You want to be able to do 5 to 8 miles without a problem, without really killing yourself. Now, your feet will continue to hurt. I think my feet hurt during all of my training. And then within the first 3 weeks of hiking the PCT, my feet pain went away. So I got pretty lucky. You're going to get other pains in your body, knee pain, hip pain, butt pain, shoulder pain. All that pain will go away. The most important thing I was taught by another PCT through hiker is the feet. The feet are the most important thing you got that's going to keep you going on a trail. So walk on a Treadmaster or treadmill, walk in the hills, walk around your street, try to get some inclines, put some weight around your ankles. Just do things to try to get them legs and feet ready to go. Another question here, did I start with any trail or hiking partners? No, I didn't. I started down in Campo, Mexico, or Campo, California on the Mexican border by myself. First night, met 8 people at a campsite. We all sat down, had dinner, and friendships started. So basically, that's what you do. You build friendships as you're hiking. You might hike with people for a few days and then they disappear, and then you might find them again a month down the trail at a resupply area. So you do meet a lot of people on a trail, a lot of real good people on a trail, and but pretty much most people start solo and they build from there. Um, Next question was, do I really like hiking alone? No, I don't. During the day when you're hiking, you're alone. You might have a hiking buddy up in front of you, a couple 100 yards. You stop for lunch, you get to talk, you get to communicate, you get to BS, you get to laugh. That's when friends and hiking with people is really where it's at. When we're going down a trail doing 10 miles, you're not really talking when you're hiking. You're going up and down hills. You can't hold conversations. You barely, you got a huffing and puffing, and you're carrying a 40-pound pack. But I tell you what, them break times, dinner time, hanging around camp after dinner, having good conversation, that's what you need. And I'm proof to it. My very last week, I hiked totally alone, did 80 miles, and pretty lonely for me. I got to have people around. So that's why I'm trying to incorporate friends for next year. It really does help. Um, Someone asked if I recommend headphones for music and things like that, or nighttime. Uh, yeah, sometimes I did listen to music when I was hiking. Did I listen to it every day? Not at all. When you get in areas where you got to conserve batteries and backup batteries so your GPS doesn't go low, or your Garmin InReach doesn't lose power, you want to make sure you got plenty juice in your phone to keep these items going, and you got to carry a couple backup batteries to make sure you got. But there's times I listen to music, not too much, especially in the lower section of the desert area. No music. I'm listening for rattlesnakes. Once I got out of the lower desert up into the Sierras, there were not really no rattlesnakes anymore. Then there were some times I did get to listen to music, or in the evening I would listen to a podcast, some kind of true crime or something. That's all we get. No TV, no real life, you disconnect from everyday life when you're out on trail like that. So you don't really know the news, unless something big happens and it travels down the trail real fast and everybody hears about it. But daily stuff, not too much. Someone asked where I started. I already said it. I started there in Campo, California, the border of Mexico, which is about 90 or 60 miles east of San Diego. And I exited the trail at Echo Lake, which is about 15 miles south of Lake Tahoe. So I did the 2 big sections, what they consider the desert section and the Sierra section. Continuous pass, I didn't miss a step, and I'm very proud of myself for being able to maintain that. So, someone asked how many non-PCT trail miles I did. Not too many. We did a couple, down south where we left the trail and went into town for resupply. They might be a mile or two. Maybe I think our biggest one down south was 3 miles. We left the trail at Tuolumne Meadows to get a resupply. We left the trail at VVR, Vermilion Valley Resort. Took a side trail to get there. So, we minded in 30 miles. I wasn't keeping that close a track. I think if you look back at my videos, you'll see where I listed the non-PCT trail miles. But it wasn't big. It wasn't that big. So not really a big concern. Someone asked, how about reroutes or getting lost? You got Garmin, you got Far Out app. It's following a magenta line. If you're on board and you're keeping an eye on the trail or things just don't look right, you look at your cell phone, you find it, you get back on trail. So lost, there's a couple wrong turns, but nothing real big where you're going to be out there in the wilderness and just full-blown lost. I mean, unless you're running around without an app or without a compass or a map or something like that, then your possibilities, of course, will grow. But with what I did, no big deal. No big deal at all. Why did I choose April 8th? Well, I picked the middle of the hiking season. The hiking season for the PCT is March, April, May. That's when they release permits to leave San Diego. So I kind of picked in the middle. The reason I picked in the middle is I wanted a snow melt. I didn't want to have to go through big snow, even though, if you go back in the videos, you'll see I went through some pretty big snow, but not like 2023 when they had, 25 feet of snow through the Sierras, and a lot of people just had to skip them sections because the snow was so bad. So for 2024, we got real lucky. We had an average snow year, so by the time I got into the Sierras, it was not a big deal for us. I mean, yeah, you've seen the videos. We had to cross it, a lot of micro spikes and walking in the snow, but not the kind of snow where it's 20 feet deep. We got pretty lucky. Someone asked how many days was on the trail. I think my trail days, actual days hiking, was 95. I know my editor will confirm that once she gets this and cuts it up and fixes it. Someone asked did I ever get sick on the trail? Yep, I got norovirus. I got norovirus 20 miles south of Big Bear. It was pretty bad, coming out of both ends, and my way of fighting it was pack up my pack, pack up my tent, and start walking. And so the night I got it, I got up. I didn't get up and never went to bed. About 6 a.m. I started walking, did 10 miles, tried to burn it out, fell apart, crashed for the night, and then the next morning I got up again, started hiking at 6 o'clock and burned that thing out of my body and made it into Big Bear. Straight for that double cheese, bacon, guacamole burger. So I was able to fight the norovirus off in 2 days. So I felt pretty good about that. And then one other time I got sick, I ate some food out of EVR. It was, we got some food out of a hiker box. It was Pop-Tarts. It was the only thing I ate that morning, and they didn't agree with me, so they came back up. So that kind of made my whole day of hiking miserable, but I think we still did 14 that day, but it was a long, hard 14 miles for me. And, so there was 2 days for the norovirus, 1 day for some Pop-Tarts that didn't agree, and that was pretty much it. Every other time, every other day on the trail, I was healthy and going strong. Someone asked, is norovirus common on the trail? Apparently so. It happened in the Appalachian Trail, I think, last year. I think it happened twice on the PCT this year. Once where I got it around Big Bear, then I think it happened again up in northern Oregon or southern Oregon. I could be wrong exactly. I wasn't there, so I wasn't too concerned about it at the time. So yeah. So, the question was, do we use a bunch of hiking lingo? I really didn't. I wasn't really in tune to the hiking lingo. I mean, there is some things they ask, like a SOBO and a NOBO. That's a southbound hiker or a northbound hiker. You got a flip-flopper, flip-flops goes somewhere and they might come back and flip the other way and go south. You got, like I said, a lasher. That's what I am, a long-ass distance section hiker. You got yo-yos where somebody might go hike the entire trail, 2,650 miles, and turn around and hike it home. That's called a yo-yoer. There's a lot of other ones I really don't know. I've seen a lot of them, but that's pretty much it. hiker box. A hiker box is something that where you'll come up into a town or to an outfitter store and you'll find a box that's full of different things hikers have discarded. It could be food. You might find a Ziploc bag with food in it. We like to call that a hiker surprise. You don't really know what it is. You add a cup of water to it and rehydrate it and eat it. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it gets buried. So you just never know. Bear boxes. That's where, of course, we leave our food in the bear country. You'll come up to campground's big metal box and you'll be able to put your food in there, put your bear can, your cooking utensils in, just kind of protect it from bears. Cowboy camping. Cowboy camping's when you get into a nice area and it's a beautiful night and you don't necessarily have to sleep in a tent every night. So you just what we call cowboy camp. Lay out your ground mat, your pad, your sleeping bag, and sleep under the stars. That's another big one too. They talk about is hiker hunger. You get to hike and you get about 2 months in, 60 days. It seems like every time you eat, within 15 minutes you're hungry. And you continually eat snacks. You want to eat, but you can't eat it all because you got to still go 5 more days. So you find yourself hungry a lot, and you don't know if it's hiker hunger or actually hunger. So, that was one of my biggest things is I couldn't control the food intake. So that's why I lost so many pounds. And I don't believe it is hiker hunger. I mean, yeah, I was hungry quite a bit, but, you get hungry 10 minutes after you eat a 1,000-calorie meal, your belly's full. So, but your stomach's still growling. So, it's okay though. I think another big one was, a thru hiker. What is a thru hiker? And there's a big debate on what a thru hiker is. A thru hiker, from what I understand, is a continuous path, start to finish, within a year's time. So, when I got off in July because of the amount of weight I lost, if I was able to get back in and get that whole trail finished before 365 days, then I guess that's a real thru hiker. But if you get off and leave and come back next year, well, then you're a section hiker. Or if you hike and you skip 350 miles and jump back on and take it to the Canadian border, I don't know. That's a big debate. A lot of people skip this year because of all the fires, but they're on time constraints, so they want to call it a through hike. I mean, you call it what it is. It's your hike. Another one, hike your own hike. Everybody hikes their own hike. So they want to call it a through hike. That's fine. Well, they did the best they could. They had to skip because they can't come back in the next 3 to 5 years. That's okay. It's everybody's hike. So no big deal. Another big one was zero or a Nero. A Nero is when you hike, a mile or two in one day and you hit your resupply town and you stay the night. That's it. That's a Nero. It's almost a zero. A zero, of course, is a zero. You did not do no trail miles. So I think in my my entire hike, I might have did, oh my goodness, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I think. 9. We'll call it 10. Maybe 10 zeros for the entire trail from Campo to Tahoe. And that was counting the zero once I got to Tahoe before I bust home. So that's zeros. They're needed. I probably didn't take enough. I probably should have taken more, but you get this mindset. I wanted to try to make Canada by September until I realized I lost way too much weight. And that kind of went out the window. So how do we charge our phones? I did take a solar charger. They don't work very well. We had one of the hiking partners I was with through the Host Sierras. Her name is Lisa, aka Frozen. She had a real nice one. It would charge a 10,000 milliamp battery in a full day. So that was pretty good. I had the same charger when I went back at Sonora Pass to go to Tahoe, and it didn't charge nothing. So it ended up in a trash can when I got to Tahoe. But hers worked quite well. So we shared off. I'd carry it a day. She'd carry it a day. I'd carry it a day, back and forth, and we'd charge our batteries through the Sierras. So that pretty much took care of our charging and everything through the Sierras. Someone asked, was Mount Whitney hard? It was a tough one. Most beautiful day of the trail I had, as far as I'm concerned, and number 2 is the John Muir Pass. But Mount Whitney, we left at 12:30 a.m., so it didn't seem hard. You couldn't see nothing. But once we were coming down and realized what we climbed, yeah, that was a pretty tough climb. I loved it. I will do it again in my lifetime. Get on at Cottonwood Pass, hike Mount Whitney, or get to Crabtree Meadows. It's about 3 days. Hike Mount Whitney, that's a full 12-hour day. And then up over Forester Pass, which is the tallest pass on the PCT trail, then exit out of Kershaw Pass. That hike is amazing. Anybody want to take that hike, have questions about how to do that hike, feel free to reach out, because that hike is amazing. I probably won't do it again until I complete my PCT hike, but once completed, I 100% will do that trail again. Just an amazing, beautiful section of the PCT trail. Another question is, what part was the worst or the most difficult? In my eyes, it was definitely Yosemite. Yosemite is a tough part of the trail. My daughter Mandy, aka Rubik's, was on that part of the trail with me, and a lot of cobble, a lot of rock. The Sierra Club and the John Muir clubs and all these clubs went out to protect that wilderness area, which, hey, it's got to be done. It had to be done, and they cover the trail with rocks, and they build these trails out of rocks. And let me tell you, it's not the yellow brick road. It is tough. You'll come around a hill and you'll have to do a climb, 1,000-foot climb, 16-inch stairs, all rocks straight up. And then you get to the top and think, oh, I finally made it. And you cross the top of that summit and you notice it's all rocks going down. So that was, how many miles? Probably 70 miles, maybe 60, 70. I'd have to go back and look at the Yosemite National Forest, but to my eyes and my hiking experience from my 1,100 miles, that was definitely the toughest. That's just me. Did I have any river crossings that were scary or hard? Nah, there was one bad one. It's called the San Joaquin River, and the bridge was out. Some people were crossing it. That wasn't in my list of things to do, is try to cross the San Joaquin. So we did what they call the up and over. We went a trail that some guy had basically put GPS waypoints, and he kind of made them on the Garmin GPS app that we're able to download, and pretty much kind of followed it. You couldn't follow it exactly, but we were able to make the scramble up and over the mountain and down the other side, across the ridge, down one side, and no trails. It's called a scramble. 3 hours, 40 minutes, 3.5 miles, 1,000-foot incline, and we went around the San Joaquin River and didn't have to cross that one. All the other rivers, I don't think we hit anything much more than just a little over the knee high. But they're going, they're moving. Sometimes you got to get rocks or logs to get across them, but nothing that couldn't be handled, so it wasn't that bad. The highest climb on the trail, of course, was Forester Pass, which I said it was just under 14,000, I think 13,900 or something. I'm not sure. If you look back at the videos, you'll see I just can't remember all the numbers anymore. What day was the most difficult? Believe it or not, it was my birthday. It kicked my butt. I don't know why. We were only able to kick out 10 miles that day. It was a tough one. I think it was because, again, we're in the national forest there for the Yosemite, so it was a really tough trail anyway. And my birthday, July 2nd, was probably one of my toughest days hiking, and I didn't go over 10 miles at all. I was beat. Let me kind of read through. Did I get any injuries? Nah, not well. I mean, I fell 4 or 5 times. That's where I got my name, Stumbles. Well, probably 4 or 5 times the first day, but quite a bit. And I picked my trail name up coming off of Fuller Ridge down into Banning, where I just kept falling and stumbling and things like that. So let's see what else. How much did my pack weigh? My pack weighed 23 pounds as a base weight. By the time you put food and water, it was 40 plus. And that's pretty much the good thing about it is the more water you drink, the more food you eat, the lighter the pack gets. So it wasn't too bad. Someone asked if I'd carried a firearm. You don't need it. We seen one bear on the entire portion of the trail I hiked. It was a little teenage bear. He was more worried about eating than worried about us. A lot of deer. Deer really don't run from you either. They know we're hikers. So a lot of rattlesnakes, a little scary on that once in a while, but you just kind of work your way around them and you don't have no problems. So pretty good. Somebody asked what's my most favorite food. I believe the Mountain House freeze-dried food for the freeze-dried side is one of the best. And a real good go-to meal was, of course, the mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes, a double chicken pack in it. It's good and filling. It's really good. When you're looking for the real high carb dense food, mac and cheese, full box of mac and cheese, you'll eat 1,100 calories for dinner. So it really helps. It says, did I meet people on the trail that I'll probably keep in touch with? Yeah, there's a few. I've got a few Facebook friends now that I met on the trail, real nice people, and they'll probably be lifetime friends. So yes, friends on the trail were great. Someone asked, would I go talk to groups regarding hiking the PCT trail? I think if, I was invited, I would. I go tell people what it's like and answer questions, tell them what I know about at least my first 1,000 miles that I did. It's a good time if you get along with, strangers and you like to meet people and talk about other people's experiences. It's a real good time. So really nice. I really don't know how far to take this. I mean, there's a lot of questions here. I think a lot of them answered with other ones. Here's one someone asked me, how about my shoes? So the shoes are pretty much what I used was Ultra. They're running shoes. My go-to shoe was the Olympus 5. I really liked them. I did get the Olympus 5 waterproof. I do not recommend waterproof shoes at all. If your shoes get wet, they dry out. If waterproof shoes get wet, they stay wet. My injuries in my feet didn't happen until after I got waterproof shoes. I got 2 major blisters on my big toes. That didn't happen until I had to wear wet shoes for a week. So I do not recommend waterproof shoes at all. You want something good and breathable. They breathe, they dry out fast. The socks I was wearing are darn tough socks, very good socks, warranted for the life of you, that you own them. So if you get a hole in them, you send them back, they send you a new pair. Believe it or not, them darn tough socks dry out just about as fast as your trail runners do. So very good shoe sock combination for me. So that's kind of what I recommend, at least for me. Let's see, you gonna finish the trail next year? I already said yes, I would. Maybe not finish, but I'm going to do the best I can to get a lot more miles. It says here, is there anything you wish you would have carried but didn't? And would have I carried it and used it? Nah, I did a 5-day shakedown before I did this PCT trail. I carried my gear and I will not change. It worked. I did a gear review before I left on the trail. Hopefully, if you guys like to go back and look at it, it'll explain what I used and everything I used. I did not change anything on the trail when I left for that month because of my health problem on my weight loss. I went back on the trail with the exact same gear I left. So I can't say anything about it. I mean, I was able to shake down my pack on the ACT, and once I did my shakedown, I was happy with it, and it was good all the way. So somebody asked if I was ever afraid or felt unsafe. They say on the PCT trail the scariest thing is the boogeyman. I only encountered the boogeyman one time. And what is the boogeyman? I don't know. I woke up, I heard what I thought was something outside my tent. I don't think it was a bear. It could have been maybe a deer. It wasn't walking hard, but I did hear ruffling of some leaves and things on the ground. So did I feel unsafe? No, but I did feel the little hairs on the back of my head lift up. But that was only one night out of 95, so that's not too bad. That's like 1%. So so that was it. And maybe heck, it might have been my imagination. I don't know, but it was really good. It said, would I take beginner backpackers or hikers out on the trail? I was a beginner. I did it. So, I don't think you need to worry about being a beginner. You're hiking, you figure it out, you watch YouTube videos before you go, you see what people eat, how people pack a pack, what kind of gear they get. Another real good gear video on YouTube, of course, is Halfway to Anywhere. It's surveys that there's a gentleman out there that does these gear surveys for the AT, the CDC, and the PCT. So you click on which trail you want to go hike, and he's got best gear, most common gear, and you kind of make your decision. You read about all the different gear, you do your homework, and you kind of start picking from that. I used ULA Circuit backpack. It was great. I loved it. It took me all the way up 1,000 miles, and then I decided, I want to get a little bigger pack, so I got the ULA Circuit, or not Circuit. The Circuit was my first one. I got the ULA. It was a little bigger, about 7 liters bigger, so it hit my bear can better. And it carried it better, but then my body had to get used to carrying it, and that kind of wasn't fun, but I got used to it, and it was good. But everything else is great. I had a real good time. I think the PCT was an experience that I got to try to accomplish an experience in something that's a lifetime thing. So I'm so glad I did it, and I really, really am aiming to do it again next year. So that's it. Feel free to reach out on this video when y'all watch it if you have more questions. Hopefully it won't be the amount I had on here. There's quite a bit. Not sure I covered them all, but I think I did. But favorite food, we covered it. What was the worst food you ate? Tortillas. I mean, I tried them in the beginning, but that only lasted so long. I can't eat tortillas unless they're cooked. I can't eat them raw anymore. So tortillas and tuna packs. Can't do them right now. Maybe in the future, but right now, just can't do them. Pretty much it. Someone asked, do trekking poles really help? Oh my goodness. I seen people out there hiking without trekking poles. I felt sorry for them, because I believe once you really know how to use a trekking pole, they probably give you 20% help, climbing, coming down hills, going up hills. I think they help. I will not do another hike without them. I didn't do them without them on this one, and I'm not going to start now. I don't know. It's looking good. That's about it, I think. I hope it all helps. Like I said, watch this video. If you guys come up with some more comments or some more questions, I'll do my best to help. I really want to push a special thanks to my wife, number one, for allowing me to leave for 3 months and go hike 1,000 miles. I want to thank my daughter for joining me 3 times on the trail. There's nothing better than father-daughter time. I loved it. It was great. I also want to put a special thanks out to my sister. She's my editor. She was my trail angel for half the southern section. I think from Interstate 15 south to the Mexican border, she took care of me. And her and Rocky, they're really helpful. And of course, I wouldn't have this YouTube channel without the help of my sister. So really, really special thanks for my sister. And then, of course, all you guys, all my fans, all my guys, all my subscribers that watch my YouTube channel. You know, I want to thank you guys for keeping this channel alive and watching the videos. You know, it's really, really nice. And I want to thank all my subscribers on this 65 and Alive channel. I'm not going nowhere. Keep an eye out. I'll have some sporadic views or videos until my next hike in 2025 when I rejoin the PCT. I'm going to go back out to the AZT and do a couple. Of course, I'll do some here behind my house in Sequoia National Forest just to keep my energy and keep my strength up, and that's it. So 65 and Alive, PCT 2024 has come to an end. I love you all. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.